Martin from the Philippines. We're here in Real Talk Lifeline. So, in this quick live, I want to keep this light and fun upon feedback of a good friend, good colleague. So, let's keep this up. Money is like a video game. So, part of the money video series here, why is money like a video game and how is it? So, if you agree with this, people watching the live or the replay, comment GG down below. You know what that is. Now, if you don't agree that money is like a video game, feel free to comment also below why. Why not? I'm here to learn from everyone, from both sides, from all sides. So, two quick points for this one. Money is like a video game. The very first one. So, when I grew up, again, I was born in 1987, the 1990s. I grew up with video games in my life from the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PlayStation. I got into PCs like personal computer, desktop gaming like that growing up. So there was a game, and this ties in with the first point on why money is like a video game. It's called resource management. So there are games that I started playing and countering. So one of them, it's this genre called survival horror. So games, if you've heard of Resident Evil, other games similarly, whatever title that is you play, wherein resources are very scarce or limited, in other words. So why is resource management a good lesson that's related to money? Well, it comes to money management or resource management also. So there are consequences when you're playing that game, Resident Evil. You find a weapon from a knife you start with, you find a gun, then you start finding ammunition, ammo, but it's very limited. So you're shooting zombies, you're trying to survive. And then there are stronger enemies as you play the game. So the consequences, if you just keep wasting your ammunition or your resources, it could be health items, weapons, ammo, it makes the game harder for yourself. And then later on, if, as we all start easy mode or beginners, we run out of ammo. Sometimes we get to this very difficult enemy or challenge, and then we get stuck in the game. Some of us have to restart all the way from, start of the game and then do better to get to that point. Now, what's the worst that could happen? Well, when you run out of ammo against a very strong enemy, you could die. So, related to money, like how is that related to money? Well, have you ever experienced a moment in your life where you ran out of money and it was very painful or near traumatic? So I share mine, and then this is the TLDR, too long didn't read, summarized version. When I was a teenager, so this was around first year, second year high school, and I was saving up all my money, my allowances, not eating, just to have some extra spare money. And I was 14 or 15, I can't remember that time, but 2001, 2002, had a first girlfriend. And then I made the mistake of starting to call her because I ran out of cell phone load. I started calling her using the landline. Long story short, I got bill shock. The landline bill was like 12,000 pesos. And then my life savings that time was 6,000 pesos. I couldn't pay for it. And then the scary part was her family, her parents found out about it. So it was so humiliating, so embarrassing. And then they even made her pay the other half of the phone bill. So that was me failing resource management or the video game of life back then. So I'm curious to hear your comments down below. People watching the live or the replay. How what was your video game real life moment of you died or like you failed the money game of life? So we learn from it and then we get better. Number two point, sorry, for the first point on resource management. So what are life lessons? What are the hidden lessons of that from the video game to real life? Well, one is this concept I learned called delayed gratification or impulse control. So when you meet that zombie, you have the gun and then you have a lot of ammo. You just feel like shooting at, the kingdom come until like you run out of ammo. But the thing is, later on, if you don't save your ammo, then you meet a stronger enemy. You're not going to be equipped to handle that one. So delayed gratification means I just use what is enough. In fact, the better players later on, they even build up or save up their ammo because they could just avoid the zombie. So you can learn a skill. You could just dodge the zombie, take a different path, like that. And you're not run by your instant reaction or impulse control, right? For some, impulse control is you feel an automatic urge to buy something, to spend, to just throw away money. So it's not just shooting the zombie, right? Or the video game, wasting ammo. And then the last lesson tied to that I learned is when we start as a beginner or a noob, like a newbie, if you do what is hard, then the game will be easy later on. So in real life, if you do what is hard, your life will be easy later on. Second point of the game, money is like a video game, is creativity. So what's the lesson we learn from here? Some video games actually teach us how to handle money. So how do you win the money game in real life? So there's this one game you could actually build it. So what do you mean, Martin? You can actually build something that will make you money. So there's this game in 2003. Moving forward, Resident Evil came out back in 1996. So we're moving forward. I graduated to like PC, desktop video games. I built my own rig with the help of I learned from a friend. So this one is Command and Conquer Generals 2003. So the USA, there's USA, China, and GLA, like the Middle Eastern faction. So USA, you can build this structure called supply drop zones. So a supply drop zone, it will drop money every like 2 minutes or every interval. So what's the real life lesson of that? Can you build your own supply drop zone in real life? The answer is yes. So you can look up the money playlist here in Real Talk Lifeline on financial freedom or passive income. Just type in the keywords. So you'll see videos that pop up that could show you that. So, what are real examples of that passive income? You can invest in something that can give you payouts, like a cash flow fund, which I learned just some years ago. It gives you money every quarter, quarterly payouts. You can invest in stocks that give you dividends. So stocks like, for example, a REIT, which came out just a few years ago here in the Philippines, but they've been out in the US and first world countries for more years. A real estate investment trust can give you dividends. It's just the same concept. It's giving you money every quarter. Sometimes it's semi-annually, sometimes it's every year annually. So you can look it up. It's like a supply drop zone giving you money every time interval. So the goal of that is to keep getting enough money eventually so you can win the game, which will ties to the ending of this live. How do you win the game? Even better, the game of life. So it's not all about money. Once you get that flow of money coming in, what else can you build? So you can check, you can invest in other areas of your life, not just financially. So you can look up the video in the money playlist here in Real Talk Lifeline called Life Areas or Life Audit. The whole point is there are four quadrants where you can invest in your body, your heart, your mind, your soul. So that's your health, could be physical, right? It could be your relationships. So that's your heart, your love. Could also be a relationship with yourself, by the way, my blind spot. It could also be your mind, your money, right? It could be your career, what you want to do in life. And then the fourth, which is your spirit, your soul. So that's your deeper purpose in life, right? Some call it God, some call it, their mission. So you start using money to invest in those quadrants of your life and you grow in all areas. So it's just filling your hierarchy of needs to the highest level of self actualization. So that's how money you can learn from a video game and then apply it to real life. So you can comment down below what your favorite lesson, what part was here of this quick live. Also, you can share your own, right? Maybe you have different input from your life, a different lesson that I can learn and we all can learn from you as well. So comment down below live as I end this one if you want to talk about another topic, not limited to money. It could just be about your health, it could be about wealth, it could be about relationships, it could be about higher purpose, a deeper meaning in life that you're craving for. Now, if you want to do one on one, because you don't want to go live public with me here, which is fun, but you want to do private one on one coaching, comment clarity call down below. So, all I ask you is what is your biggest challenge in life right now that you feel stuck with? And then I will just listen to you first. Sometimes that's all we need. Now, if you're open, I can also share feedback or perspective because this might help you with blind spots, areas that you can't see or you didn't get to see, and it might help you break through to move forward. So, thank you. This was Money is Like a Video Game. I love you, and I will see you next time.